My pick out of these two brushes is the Sonicare DiamondClean 9900 Prestige, if and only if the price is right and you specifically want the ultimate electric toothbrush. The Prestige often commands a significant price premium which is difficult to justify, but thanks to promotional offers the difference is reduced at times and far more justifiable. Only if you are prepared to pay for the absolute best or want real-time tracking would I encourage you to pay the extra. Personally, I think the Prestige is worth about a £50 premium, but more than that I have to think quite carefully about it. So what are the key differences? The Series 7100 has Sonicare's next generation sonic technology. The Prestige has 5 cleaning modes compared to the 4 of the 7100. The Series 7100 has LEDs and mode labels on the handle that the 9900 does not have. The cleaning mode can be changed from the handle with the 7100, the 9900 requires the app. The Prestige has a seamless single button design. The Series 7100 typically comes supplied with an extra brush head. The 7100 has a longer battery life. The supplied USB charging stands are different. The charging travel cases included are different. 9900 has Sense IQ, which the 7100 does not have. The Prestige has real-time position tracking that the 7100 does not have. The Series 7100 is quieter. The 7100 is made in the Netherlands and China compared to the China only. The Prestige is more expensive. Taking a look at each of these differences in more detail then. As the newer of the two brushes, the Series 7100 has Sonicare's next generation sonic brushing technology. What this means is that the motor has been configured so that the bristles provide a more consistent power and cleaning motion when they are under pressure in tight spaces of the mouth, such as between my cheek and molar teeth. Having used both, I can't say I personally felt a difference, maybe a slight improvement with the Series 7100, but I don't know if this was psychological because I knew the difference was supposed to exist. Thus I can't say there is an improvement, but I am hard pushed to tell the difference. I am sure Philips are correct in what they are saying, so there is potentially some benefit to be had with the 7100, but I wouldn't be too attached to this specific difference as a reason to buy the newer model. Both brushes have more cleaning modes than I or anyone else really needs. Both have a clean, sensitive gum health and white mode, but the Prestige also has a deep clean mode. Whilst a specific cleaning mode might in certain circumstances deliver better results for one individual than another, the reality is that the plaque removal isn't all that different. With the 3 intensities each brush has, there is still far more configurations than I or you need. I really wouldn't worry too much about this difference. Setting the two brushes apart a bit more here is the fact that 9900 has no cleaning mode labels or LEDs on the brush handle. I have no way of knowing what mode is active on the brush by looking at it. Furthermore, I can't change mode unless I open the accompanying smartphone app. Whilst I rarely change modes, I do find this quite irritating. The change is easily done via the app and it updates instantly, but it is far more hassle than it is worth. My full review explains this in more detail. Linked to this is the lack of buttons on the Prestige handle. There is one main button which is the power button. This has a seamless design for durability which makes it quite hard to press compared to most other buttons on a toothbrush. If you have dexterity issues, the Prestige isn't for you. The intensity LEDs can be pressed to change the intensity of the cleaning mode though. So from the handle I can change between high, medium and low. I can't change this from the app. I think the setup of the 7100 is much more practical and user friendly. It can vary depending on different bundles and package contents on offer, but as a general rule the 7100 comes with 2 G3 Premium Gum Care heads compared to the one A3 Premium all-in-one head supplied with the Prestige. Like the modes, I don't worry about this. Yes, the extra head in the box is nice, but both handles use the same range of interchangeable heads. Those that fit the 7100 do also fit the Prestige and vice versa. They can be purchased separately and the cost saving of the supplied is minimal. Although different heads can provide a different brushing sensation and potentially different cleaning results, much like the cleaning modes, I wouldn't get too worried about which you are using. All do a good job of removing plaque from the teeth. A rechargeable lithium-ion battery is installed in both brushes. The DiamondClean Prestige has a claimed usage time of 14 days compared to the 21 of the Series 7100. In my use, both far exceeded the claimed time, with the 9900 lasting 28 and the Series 7100 41 days. I can't fault either here. That's at least a month's battery life for both on a full charge. The charging stands are slightly different, both have a USB Type-A cable hardwired into the stand. Where the 7100 has a protuberance that fits into the base of the handle, the 9900 is flat with an optional plastic puck that fits on top. They are both rounded in their design. The Prestige does also come with a 2-pin USB plug adapter that you don't get with the 7100. Both brushes take up to 24 hours to charge. Feedback is given via the LED on the handle. The Prestige has one vs the 3 LEDs of the 7100. Irrespective, both are functional. A small noteworthy point here, although Philips don't actively promote it, is that the battery in the Series 7100 can be replaced by myself at home with only the most basic tools. This is a plus for repairability that the DiamondClean Prestige does not offer. There's nothing to speak of in size and weight difference between the supplied travel cases, both hold the handle and one brush head. The 7100's plastic case has a smooth touch plastic finish, whereas the 9900's has a vegan leather wrapped around it to not only look a bit more classy but feel nicer too. There is also a wrist strap on the Prestige's case and a certain quality that doesn't translate to the Series 7100's. The biggest difference is the supplied charging cables. In both instances they are detachable with no notable place to stow them. Both have a USB Type-A connector at one end. However, the 7100's cable has a proprietary connector at the other, whilst the Prestige has the internationally recognised USB Type-C connector. I think you know which is the better option here. Another smaller feature difference is Sense IQ. This is only on the Prestige. I explain it in more detail in my hands-on review, but essentially it adapts the intensity of the cleaning action and gives me warnings based on my brushing technique. It's there to protect and help me avoid unnecessary damage. The Series 7100 does not have this. Setting these brushes apart a bit more on the technological front is the Bluetooth technology they each have. Whilst both relay brushing time and pressure in real time to the screen and log data post brushing, only the Prestige can actually show and track which areas of the mouth I am brushing. It can show me before I end my session where I need to focus my attention. If I want to not brush the lower back molars, the Prestige 9900's app would show me visually. No such functionality exists on the Series 7100. The associated data for each clean also logs a visual of the teeth I have and have not brushed, so I can see patterns visually. It isn't a deal breaker if you or I don't have or invest in this tech, but it certainly gives more useful insights that I can learn from to make my oral care habits better. It's not massively different, but in my testing the Series 7100 produced an audible humming sound that maxed out at 65 decibels, whereas the 9900 peaked at 71. The DiamondClean Prestige is made in China. The Series 7100 is made in the Netherlands according to the base of the handle in the box, but the charging stand and travel case for the 7100 is labelled as having been made in China. Prices are very much subject to change, but based on the pricing I have seen and tracked in most instances, the Prestige is far more expensive. The Series 7100's retail price of £350 looks quite cheap compared to the £550 of the Prestige. Selling prices are typically £140 and £350 respectively. Ownership costs over 3 years work out at roughly £210 and £430. You can essentially have two of the 7100 for the same money as the Prestige. I welcome anyone to really justify the premium that has to be paid for the Prestige, albeit I will be the first to tell you that as a package this is one of the best out there. But, like I say, prices vary, and as I write, the Prestige is selling with massive savings, taking the purchase price difference down to less than £50 between them. You should ultimately only go for either if you're happy to pay the price. Links to buy either are available in the video description.